Um, so, thanks for the intro, Heather. I am Seth here, of the founder of Zap Cooking, and today I want to talk about building communities without permission and how these small, authentic ideas can grow into connected ecosystems here on Nostr. And this is the story of curiosity and turning into creation, and how these open networks empower people in real ways. So, communities don't need permission, they need purpose. And that's what makes Nostr so special. It's people show up here because they care, not because they are persuaded by an algorithm to do so. So the best communities form around shared value, purpose, curiosity, and connection. And that is the foundation of what keeps the whole network alive. So just wanted to share a little bit of a background of myself. I work in manufacturing, so I started on the factory floor as a builder, not a developer. But that's where I learned how people, process, and products all come together to make something tangible, something real. And throughout my career, I had a lot of exposure to the Toyota production system, and it was a model that promoted systems thinking, systematic type of thinking. So when I discovered Nostr in 2023, I saw some of the same principles at work. And it was just a different kind of system. It was made up of people and ideas. And that's how I ended up coming to find Zap Cooking and a newer project, community-based, called SoberKey. But Nostr feels different. It emits a different type of feeling. And it's because it is different. It's more organic. It's not synthetic. It's not designed to capture your attention. It's designed to give you freedom. You own your identity through your key pair. You own your content, and you own your relationships as well. There's no gatekeepers, no walled gardens, just open protocols, curiosity, and creativity. So, how Zap Cooking came to be actually started as Nostr Cooking, Nostr.cooking. And this was just an idea that we were having a conversation. In the early days, we used to have these conversations on Nostr nests, and we would talk for an hour. Sometimes it would go up to 5 hours. We would talk about all sorts of different things: Bitcoin, Nostr, freedom, technology, all these different things. Now, my background my education is in information technology, but I've always been kind of a tinkerer, right? I had the car stereo, and I had one at my house, so I was always kind of tinkering in the technology side through that, but I never really got into the application side of it. So we were talking about different things, and the idea of domain names came up. And at that point, this Nostr thing was so intriguing that it was like, you might want to get some. It might catch on, right? So so I went on to Namecheap and searched for everything Nostr, and Nostr.cooking was available. And realized how easy it was, and this new renaissance could really pick up and become something. So I just started, and I just bought it. Just basic curiosity and not having a plan. And I figured that action alone would just keep things moving forward. So I posted a bounty onto nostrbounties.com back in the day, and I was looking for a developer. And this is the pre-vibe code days. So it was kind of hard. And if you were in Nostr early, like, the developers were kind of rock stars, right? And everyone kind of had their own project. But I ended up finding a developer, Teal, who started the framework of Nostr.cooking, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I was kind of really interested in the NIPO 7, the identity portion of it, so I even called it a database, right? But, you know, through him and I in collaboration there, we ended up building a simple recipe a simple recipe site that were shared over relays. And it was an actual Nostr client, right? And we did it in a way that we wanted to just cut out all the story, all the fluff, and all the things. You know, you go to a website for trying to discover a recipe. It's usually loaded about, like, you know, grandma's history and her story to get there, and you got to scroll, scroll, scroll. So we just wanted to just put something out there and keep it simple, right? And that was the first version. It started as curiosity, but it grew brick by brick. So about a year later, my friend Bevo, I don't know if many of you know Bevo here, he sent me a message and he said, "Hey mate, Zap's Cooking's available." I mean, it was a DM, so it didn't sound like that, but I read it in my head like that. But we were talking about it, and you know, Zap actually felt more actionable, more alive, more connection, more gratitude, right? So at that point, we rebranded to Zap Cooking, and I bought them all. I got zapcooking.com, Zap's Cooking, Zap, you know, Cooking, and then my friend Daniel created the logo here that you see today that we still use here on my shirt as well. But it was the same heart with a new identity. And around that same time we rebranded, I got in contact with Carnage, who helped me on the design side. And what we wanted to do was bring this thing more life. We wanted to make it more visual. So the original developer, Teal, he kind of faded into the background a little bit. He may or may not have been as interested. He did support some of this, but we ended up working with another talented developer, Jack Shikani, and he decided to take on the project for the redesign. So with Carnage's support on the design and Jack's support on the development, we created a new site that you see here today. This is actually the more updated, but the idea was that we wanted to make it very visual for users so that they can, you know, see what they want, click into it, and it was going to be a great visual first site so that improving the user experience. But the goal was to make it effortless and fast and human. So phase 2, thanks to the vibe coding tools, was able to take and add a social layer to it. And this is what's available today. We have a social feed on there. And this is just curating these real conversations that are already happening across Nostr. And these conversations are about food, about culture, and connection. And then we just put this all together in a single feed. This wasn't about algorithms designed for your attention. It was about authentic curation and discovery, led by gratitude and experience. So every post, every scroll should feel human, not engineered. So we started with a basic idea, buying a domain, Nostr.cooking. We grew that into a community in motion. And what are we going to do next? Well, we're going to continue to develop, and we're going to go with the mobile-first application. Make it simpler, make it faster, make it more social. But we want it to be invisible to the user, right? Nostr is the engine that drives Zap Cooking. And you don't necessarily need to see Nostr or the decentralization, but you should be able to feel it working authentically. And this is the thing I see on Nostr culturally. It's more authentic. And authenticity isn't optimized, it is the default setting. You know, whereas algorithms feed on attention, we feed connection. Every Zap, every recipe, every conversation is the spark of something real. So I just wanted to touch briefly, because this is a new project and it's in its infancy. It's a project called Sober Key, and it's a place, another community that's built for addiction and recovery. And, you know, personally, I've been affected by addiction in my life. I lost my best friend to an overdose growing up. I have had family members who've had challenges with addiction. And Nostr seemed to be the perfect place to create something like this, because privacy is a default and conversations can happen anonymously. So you can open up this conversation through talking about sobriety and recovery. Alcoholics Anonymous is a decentralized network by itself, alone. It works, there's no CEOs, they just grow organically throughout communities. So why not bring that same type of project to Nostr, where people can connect and have conversations? And this is the power of Nostr. When you zoom out, you see something bigger than just any one project. Whether it's Damas, it's Toonster, Yakback, Zap Cooking, they're each a node living in a web. So we're all building these places, these locations, these rooms for people to come and join and grow and connect. Because the network isn't just the code, it's built of the people as well. So before I close, I wanted to talk and zoom in a little bit about what I've learned and how these communities actually take root. It's a blueprint for building your own niche community. I've seen it again and again in all these different Nostr communities, whether it is, you know, everyone here at Nostr Valley, Runster, Zap Cooking, they start to take a life of their own. But it starts with step one, with curiosity. Every community starts with a question, not a business plan. Step two is connection. Find others who share that same curiosity, and that's the spark that turns an idea into momentum. Step three is collaboration. Build something small together, a prototype, a meme, whatever it may be, but just start building momentum around with other people. Step four is curation. As the signal grows, you filter out that noise, not with algorithms, but with trust and shared purpose. Step five is continuity, and that is the community when it outgrows you. That's when it's real. And that's what happened with Zap Cooking. It wasn't just me, it was everybody who was posting about food on Nostr. And today, it breathes a life of its own. You look at the tags, people tag Zap Cooking in Japan, in Thailand, in America, and wherever people are connecting to the Nostr network. So here's what I've learned over the past couple years. You just start small, but you think in systems. Also, build in public. The open source ethos of Nostr is our advantage. Let's lean into that. Transparency builds trust. Also, let the community guide you. Listen deeply and listen to what people tell you. They'll tell you what matters most. And remember that authenticity will always outlast the algorithm. Systems scale, but authenticity sustains. So this is a call to action, and my ask is simple. Start your own tiny niche. You don't need permission, just curiosity and purpose. Be authentic and build something human, because the vibe is in the community and the vibe is in the code. So let's keep building communities that matter, because communities don't need permission, they just need purpose. Thank you.